Hey guys, this is Dan with Pain Free You. As you can see, I am near water. I'm down in St. Petersburg, Florida for a long weekend, so I brought the camera here. And today's topic is going to be, what's the brain's job? In other words, what is the purpose of the brain? And in essence, if you look way back when we were, living in caves, running away from predators, our brain's job was to keep us alive, right? And unfortunately, in the past, however many years it's been since we were in that state of the world, where we were living in caves and running away from, large predators, our brain has not really changed that much. Our brain's primary job is to keep us alive and also safe. So, TMS, distraction, pain, stress, illness. It is all just an effort by the brain to keep us safe from what it believes to be dangerous predators. So it creates pains and or other symptoms. Sarno theorized as a way to distract us from these dangerous predators called negative emotions. And we've been taught this. When we were little, we learned that certain emotions are not acceptable. They are dangerous. They really give us lots and lots of disapproval from those we care about. And so we've learned that certain emotions are not safe, they're not preferable, they're not allowed, we gotta lock them up. So we began this repression strategy, decades ago, back when we were little. And now as we get older, we've got all these self-imposed pressures, the need to be good, the need to be liked by others, this desire to just be perfect and not really cause any disapproval with anybody that we're close to and that whose opinion we care about. So we repress these emotions or even consciously just push them away. The other thing we do is we cling to emotions. If we get really angry, we'll hold on to grudges and resentments. And that's what I also call an unresolved emotion. So the brain's job is really to keep us safe and protect us. And since our belief is that these dangerous, or these emotions, these negative emotions, are dangerous and not to be felt at all costs, anytime this reservoir of emotions in our subconscious gets close to bursting through consciousness and makes itself very well known, kind of like the powder keg building up pressure, and about ready to blow, the brain creates symptoms in an effort to protect us and keep us safe from these overwhelming, scary, and even perceived as dangerous emotions. These are also emotions that don't fit with our self-esteem or self-image. So that is essentially how the process starts. Now, as it relates to symptom imperative, anytime we start making progress and the pain goes away, sometimes the symptoms will come back. And that is still an attempt by the brain to keep us distracted from these emotions that still have not yet been fully felt and resolved and released. So, in an effort to keep us safe, this is what really begins the whole process. So I did a video a few days ago about safety and how one of the primary things you can do in order to alleviate all these symptoms is to really teach the brain that you are in fact safe and that you can in fact feel these emotions without damaging yourself, without losing your mind, without any major impact. So basically that's why the process of feeling your emotions tends to work, because if you can feel your emotions, soothe yourself, you've just sent a strong message to your brain that, yep, I'm still safe even though I felt this. And if you can teach yourself to just feel emotions like a normal human being in real time, just allow yourself to feel them without any judgment, without any criticism, without any trying to get rid of these emotions, you're essentially going to teach the brain that you're already safe and it doesn't need this distraction any longer to protect you. So that's really important, and that's a really important component to getting better from this stress illness or distraction pain, as I call it. So again, the brain's job is to keep us safe. And keep in mind, the brain is neutral. The brain doesn't care what type of instructions you give it. It's just going to faithfully execute those instructions. So the job of the brain is to deliver to you that which you have instructed it to deliver. So if all day long you are focusing on fearing, having anxiety about the pain, the brain is going to continue to deliver you the pain and or symptoms, because the instructions you're giving to the brain are all day long about the pain or symptoms. And it's really that simple. So if you want to change things, you want to teach the brain, again, that you are safe feeling these emotions. You don't need the distraction from them, because you're actually very strong and can handle sadness, grief, shame, guilt, fear, anger, rage. You can handle them without imploding your world. Right? I always point out, just to be clear, feeling emotions is internal. Expressing emotions is vomiting them out on the rest of the world around us. So we don't have to express emotions to get better. All we have to do is truly honor and feel them. So sit with your emotions. I've gone over a whole bunch of processes in my video, TMS processes reviewed. They all work. Just pick one that allows you to truly feel your emotions. Be sure to soothe afterwards. I have a video how to soothe yourself. And you can find those by searching on the YouTube channel. Go to Pain For You channel in YouTube, search for that, you'll find it. And you can search by topic. So, again, the brain's job is to keep us safe. The brain's other job is to execute on the instructions we give it, which is why I am continuing to repeat my suggestion to not focus upon your pain or your symptoms, because all we're doing at that point is instructing the brain to keep those things wired. Now, I talk about neuroplasticity and wiring our brain and unwiring our brain. The great news is this is not a hard wiring. It is not wired once and stays that way forever. The brain is very malleable, and that's evidenced by scientific studies where they do brain scans before and after 2 weeks worth of study on practicing the piano and seeing the brain form new connections. It's literally very malleable, and you can rewire it in a reasonably short period of time. So that's why I suggest, as much as possible, shift your focus away from your symptoms, which are the things you don't want, and over to the things you do want, which is, gratitude. What do you want out of your life? What do you want to create? What do you want to be? What has meaning to you? Joy, purpose, happiness, right? How much fun can you have today? That's a great question to ask yourself. So again, the purpose of the brain is to keep us safe, to keep us alive. And here's the point. We don't have dangerous predators chasing us every day. Unfortunately, the brain doesn't know the difference between a real dangerous predator and a thought or a belief in our mind that screams danger, right? So if we are walking through the mall and we are constantly freaked out that, oh my God, people are looking at me, they might judge me, I don't know, I look awful today, my hair looks crappy, I'm overweight, I am dressed poorly, oh my God, we can literally create danger out of a situation where there's no real true imminent danger to our life, but just to our feelings and to our sense of self-esteem. So in this evolved brain of ours, we've really not evolved, and we react to things like insults and perceived insults as if it was a saber-toothed tiger chasing us from 1,000 years ago. Not 1,000, 100,000 years ago, whenever that was. I'm not a student of that stuff, but keep in mind, where is the danger coming from? I did a video on safety recently, and if you are constantly feeling unsafe, why is that? In many cases, it's our own beliefs and our own thought processes that are creating this belief of unsafety, or this feeling of unsafety. And what I told you about the other day was that safety is like a lever. When you're feeling very safe, the pain levels are going to be down low. When the safety drops, that's my elbow, when the safety drops, the pain level goes up in an attempt to keep us distracted and basically protect us from these overwhelming, dark, and scary emotions. So again, the brain's job is to keep us safe. And we can either work with it by reassuring ourselves we're safe, rewiring some of the beliefs that we are not safe in our own bodies. I did that, limiting belief rewire. Go back and watch that. There's a part 1 and a 2. And that will help you to start really challenging your beliefs and make new decisions about what is actually safe, what is not, what is actually real, what is true, and what is not. I mean, these things are really important to do. The great news is we can rewire our brain. The great news is we can decide to be different today than we were yesterday. We are not fixed. And I will challenge you folks. I see a lot of comments where people say, my brain keeps on telling me that I'm not safe. And I will say, whose brain is it? And are you suggesting you have no ability to control your thoughts? It takes a little bit of effort and awareness and being aware of what your present thinking is doing. But with becoming aware of that, you can choose different thoughts. And by doing so consistently, we can literally rewire the way we think and navigate this world. We are not as unsafe as we think we are. We are not as fragile, both physically and emotionally, as we think we are. So decision is a real key thing here, and our brain is great. We've been making decisions since we were little, since we were born. I want that to eat. I don't want that to eat. I want that. I'm going to break up with this person. I'm going to date that person. I'm going to take this job and not that job. We have the ability to make decisions. So why not just give yourself the permission to make decisions about who you are and how you're showing up in the world? And look, if you've always been timid, shy, so concerned with other people think about you, always seeking approval by putting yourself last, which by the way is infuriating, make a decision that I'm going to start basically being my own person more and doing things that benefit me more. And that doesn't say no longer, be there for your family or your spouse or anything like that, but if you're doing things to please other people that are pissing you off, you might not want to make that a long-term strategy, right? If you're doing things for other people that bring you joy and meaning and purpose because, wow, I'm raising my kids the right way, and yeah, it can get frustrating at some point, but boy, nothing gives me better, a feeling of accomplishment and meaning than laying down at night going, wow, I had some really great engagement with my kids today. Then that's fine. Doing things for other people is great. Serving other people is awesome. That brings me meaning. I mean, I'm trying to do my best to serve you guys and gals every day here, and that makes me feel really good. I'm not doing it out of a sense of obligation or a feeling like you guys are more important than I am. I'm doing this because I love it, and I really know that if you take advantage of the things that I've learned, that took me 13 years to figure it out and get out of pain myself, but yet another 10 years afterwards of continued study, you can shortcut your progress and your recovery to a very short period of time. Even if you've had pain or symptoms for a long period of time, that does not mean it's going to take you that long to get out of it. Right? Once you get it and get the knowledge is key. Once you truly understand that you're not broken, you've got, maybe some physical abnormalities that are not ideal, like I had my twisted spine, but that wasn't the cause of the pain. That's a very freeing piece of knowledge. It allows the fear to go from way up here to down here, and that really allows you to feel safer in your body. And so a lot of times the persistence of the chronic pain or chronic symptoms is not necessarily, I've read some about TMS and this mind-body process, and I understand it, and I think I've got it. But sometimes the challenge is the mindset. What's between your two ears? And how much are you freaking yourself out and causing this feeling of unsafety, right? And that seems to be the bigger challenge, is just literally convincing yourself to stop chasing yourself around with a hatchet, screaming, you're in danger, right? So much of this part of getting better is to truly question these limiting beliefs that I can't get better, to question this belief that my body has given up on me, which is not true, and to really question how hard it is to get rid of this. Because when you realize you're not broken physically, you believe that TMS, or this mind-body process, is what's going on with you, then it's truly a matter of teaching yourself that emotions are safe. It's a decision you can make, and you make that decision by feeling your emotions every day. Do a little bit of scooping out of the old stuff, and then as you experience emotions in real time in the present, absolutely give yourself permission to feel them in the present. And then the rest of the day, get your mindset right. How much fun can you have today? How much can you place your attention on things besides your pain and symptoms? Get out of the Facebook groups, the toxic ones that are just full of scared people who are completely hopeless. That's not you. They don't know what you know. Don't go on a campaign or a crusade to save everybody else out there, because some people aren't ready to be saved, and they will just purely attack you, which will make you second guess your own belief in TMS, because you've got all these people saying, that's bullshit, it's not in my head, blah, 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 blah. And now all of a sudden you're creating more tension and anxiety and stress in your life, as opposed to take care of yourself. Lead by example. If you've got friends who are also in pain, don't preach on them. They may not be ready to hear this, but when you're doing great in the near future, they're going to be going, what happened? You used to be in awful shape, now you're doing great. What'd you do? Say, well, it was too much stress and I learned this stuff, and here's where you can go find out more about it. So again, the purpose of the brain is to keep us safe. It is to protect us at all costs, and it will do whatever it can to protect us. So if the core belief is that these emotions are unsafe, it will protect you at all costs, even if it means creating pain syndromes to distract you from these emotions it believes are a predator. So it's all a matter of understanding and really, truly gaining the knowledge necessary as to what's going on. And once you know what's going on and how the brain actually functions, it becomes clear as to what the process is to get better. It's to create safety. It's to know that you can feel these emotions and get into the practice of feeling these emotions every day and proving to your brain, I don't need the distraction. And then spending the rest of the day, just basically, if emotions come up, give yourself permission. If you're in the middle of something and it's not appropriate to start crying in a conference at work, then okay, soon, go to the bathroom. Give yourself permission to get upset or cry or whatever, and then go back to work, right? Give yourself permission as soon as possible. And, it's really not that complex to get out of pain. It can be challenging. People say, but it's so hard. Well, you're in the habit of thinking negatively. You're in the habit of scaring yourself with your thoughts and your beliefs about your symptoms and your pain. And I can't do it. My situation's so much more different and severe. The last thing I will tell you, and this is a key point, the duration of how long you've had the symptoms and the severity of the symptoms, or how many symptoms you have, does not matter. Just because you've got 14 different symptoms and you're really struggling does not mean your approach to get better is any different than the person with just some back pain that's been nagging them for a few years. I know it's more severe, but the answer is still the same. The resolution is still the same. The process in ending our symptoms is still the same. Don't freak out about the symptoms. I've never met anybody who got better by freaking out about their symptoms. Never, ever. And I proved for myself for over 13 years that freaking out about them is what kept them going. So as much as you can, as best as you can, know that you're safe. Know that you are teaching your brain, your subconscious brain, that you're really okay. And if you feel unsafe, you've got anxiety and you're really feeling unsafe, check in. Say, okay, why do I feel so unsafe? What's going on? Oh, I'm worried about what somebody else thinks about me. You can make a decision to say, screw that, I don't care, right? That's not repression. That's literally changing a decision on how you're going to go, about your day or through your life, is to say, I no longer am going to live my life according to what I think other people think about me or will say about me. And frankly, if they're strangers, that's none of your business. And if they're people you care about and they're heaping their judgment upon you, it might be time for an adult conversation to say, hey, it's not going to fly anymore. I don't want or need that amount of judgment. I already feel, badly enough about myself. I'm trying to rebuild that. So if all you're going to do is criticize me or pick on me or tell me why I'm not good enough, I'm going to ask you politely and with love, hold your tongue on that, because there are certain things that we want to set some boundaries on. But we don't want to do it in such a way that creates more tension and more chaos in our lives. But again, sometimes there may be a need for adult conversations. So, I hope you're enjoying the view. I'm enjoying St. Petersburg so far. It's a little bit overcast and not so warm. Hopefully we get some better weather this weekend. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this video. That's a talk about what the brain's job is and why I keep on talking about brain science, and let's teach our brain these things and let's rewire these limiting beliefs. It all matters, right? It all matters. And if all you're doing is feeling your emotions, but you're not soothing yourself and you're still freaking out all day long and then pissed off that you're not getting better, well, the mindset stuff, this focus on the pain or the symptoms all day long, is probably much more likely that that's why you haven't gotten better yet, because you still haven't really created this safety in knowing that you're safe in your body and with your emotions. And you can struggle and resist and do the emotional work every day for years like I did. But if the rest of the day, the rest of the 16 hours you're awake, you're freaking yourself out about the symptoms and stressing and researching and just complaining about and just really just monitoring and managing and trying to fix it, being desperate in order to get rid of the pain, it's not going to work, because you are putting your focus on something that you don't want. And the brain has no choice but to react by saying, pain's really important, or symptoms are really important, so let's keep them firing. Let's keep that going. And if you want to take away the power of the pain, if you want to take away the fuel for the pain or symptoms, literally stop feeding it, right? So I hope this makes sense. Just wanted to talk about the brain and what its job was and what its purpose was. I'm going to give you one last view here of what is going on. There's a nice marina over there. And with that, I'm going to sign off for this video. Love you guys and gals. Thanks from St. Petersburg. We'll see you in the next video.